We recently spent a Saturday exploring Kings Dominion, a fun Richmond, Virginia area theme park that recently became a part of the Six Flags family of parks. Throughout the summer season, this park is known as an amazing collection of thrilling coasters and family rides that provides fun for all ages. But as the weather turns colder each fall, rumors swirl about sinister forces that are said to inhabit this dominion, turning fun to fears. There were signs when we entered the park recently that there may be some truth to these dark rumors. In this video, we'll show you the daytime fall events that this park offers, right up until the moment when the sun starts to set and terror takes center stage. Stay tuned as we make our way through the fog and frights of Halloween Haunt.
The day started out pleasantly. As Jack and a friend wandered off to enjoy some thrill rides, I checked out the park's family-friendly Halloween event called Tricks and Treats, taking place in the Planet Snoopy section of the park. There are some Halloween decorations throughout the area, which are really not so scary. There was even a chance for kids to meet Charlie Brown's best friend, Snoopy, in his Halloween costume, in Snoopy Boutique, a Peanuts-themed gift shop. Adults can meet him too, so I did. I also did some shopping to see what they had for sale. Other Halloween activities included the Skeletons of Fun Midway games, where kiddos compete for fun prizes. Plus, there is the Trick-or-Treat Trail, where kids can wear their costume and go begging for candy along the trail. There's a crafts area where kids can decorate a mask at Mask Maker's Mash or decorate a pumpkin at Patch's Pumpkin Party. They are also hosting costume contests and Skelebration dance parties several times a day. And the rides in the Planet Snoopy area are also open. A couple of them are even Halloween themed, the Great Pumpkin Kiddie Coaster, and one of my favorites, a dark ride called Boo Blasters on Boo Hill, where you can shoot at ghosts. Tricks and Treats is open Saturdays and Sundays now through November 2nd from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Later that afternoon, Jack and his friend met up with me at a performance of one of our favorite musical groups, Kings Dominion's Singing Mushrooms, with their frog friend on piano. From there, we walked over to Oktoberfest, some not-so-scary entertainment for adults. Experience the charm of a Bavarian Oktoberfest celebration right here in Virginia. There's a live brass band called the Umpadelics, wearing lederhosen and performing some rousing polka tunes. There's an opportunity to help paint this year's Oktoberfest mural. They also stage a bratwurst eating competition and a Last Stein standing competition. We arrived in the area after the competitions were already done, but here is footage from last year's Last Stein standing competition. A big part of this festival is the Oktoberfest food and drink selections. There were 13 beers to choose from, many of them Oktoberfest inspired. We don't love beer, so we skipped those, but we did try some of the festival foods. We tried the Kartoffelpuffer, which were fried potato balls topped with sour cream and applesauce for $7.99. These were just okay, but we didn't love them. The balls were made of what looked like shredded hash browns, and then the mixture of applesauce and sour cream was an odd taste. We then tried the honey-glazed pork wings for $12.99. We ate these last year, and they were our favorites then. They're still very good. Finally, we tried the cookie butter braid, a pastry with cookie butter inside and caramel on top for $7.99. This was so sweet, but it was our favorite thing we ate at the park all day. A perfect sweet snack, even though I'm not sure I could have finished it without Jack's help because it was so sweet. This past spring, Kings Dominion opened a brand new roller coaster as part of the park's 50th anniversary, and Jack got to check it out for the first time on this visit. Here he is to tell you all about it.
Kings Dominion's new coaster, Rapterra, opened, and I finally got to check it out in person. It's in the Jungle Expedition section of the park, and it is the tallest and longest launched wing coaster anywhere in the world. Since we can't film on the rides at Kings Dominion due to safety concerns, here is some footage from the Kings Dominion Rapterra press kit. You're seated on the right or left wing of this coaster, which launches riders from 0 to 65 miles per hour in 4 seconds. There's an overbanked turn 145 feet up in the air. There are 3 inversions. The whole thing lasts almost a minute and a half, and it's a great addition to Kings Dominion's already great lineup of thrill rides. Speaking of thrills, the sun is on its way down, and Halloween Haunt presented by Snickers is about to begin. The event starts with its opening scaremony in front of the park's iconic Eiffel Tower replica. The usual host of this event, Queen Majesty, couldn't be bothered to show up this year. But in her place, we get the return of a past master of ceremonies, the Overlord, as he marches in with his minions. This Overlord is different than our YouTube Overlords, who you can help us appease by clicking the like button on this video. Anyway, the show gets started and a lot of parents lift up their kids for a better view of, Satan. So it goes. This show is short and sweet as the minions are released into the park to haunt us for the rest of the night. If you wait around for a few minutes after the Overlord leaves the stage, another show begins soon thereafter. That next show is Terror Rising. This featured a 2-man band playing some metal tunes while a troupe of performers danced with chains and whips. The performers were talented. However, in the past, even though the show was largely musical with lots of dancers, there was always a bit of a narrative story to the show. In this year's show, it just appeared to be musicians and dancers performing. Again, it was good, but it felt just kind of like an adult dance recital backed up by an electric guitar and a drum set. From here, we'll give you a tour of the outdoor scare zones. Then we'll let you know what we thought about the scare mazes, which we were, unfortunately, not allowed to film in, but we'll tell you all about them. The first outdoor scare zone we visited was the only new scare zone this year, the Catacombs. Set under the shadow of the Eiffel Tower, this scare zone uses the actual catacombs of Paris, which contain the remains of over 6 million people, as the setting for a vampire disco. but the party turns into a nightmare as the vampires begin their hunt at midnight. Next, we visited an old favorite, Masquerade. You were cordially invited to a masked ball of a time gone by. But in this ballroom, as you start to enjoy an evening with the upper crust, you will quickly find yourself surrounded by madness and mayhem. We then visited the scare zone that we enjoy watching the most, Pumpkin Eater. Malevolent spirits are possessing the Armstrong Acres pumpkin farming community and turning the people into pumpkins. This one is fun to watch because there are scare actors on stilts who hide until they pop out when some unsuspecting soul comes near. And if a person spends too much time looking up high for the stilt-walking scarecrows, the sliders will unexpectedly glide right along the ground in front of their path, also freaking them out. They're coming at you high and coming at you low, and it's entertaining to watch people's reactions.
The next scare zone we entered was the Cleaver Brothers Carnival. Some people have a fear of clowns. They would not like this. There were only a few scare actors in this one when we walked through. I don't know if some of them were just on break or what. This has always been a fun scare zone, but there just wasn't a lot going on when we walked through this time. There's a burlesque show that happens several times an evening in this scare zone, which we've seen before, but we missed it this time. The final scare zone was Site X, over in the jungle expedition area of the park. The researchers who found this remote jungle dug too deep. The archaeological expedition unearthed infectious secrets that spread like a plague to all who entered. King's Dominion doesn't allow filming in their haunt mazes, aka haunted houses, but we're going to tell you about each one in a countdown where we rank them from 6th place down to our favorite maze this year in 1st place. Number 6 is Fear, a maze where they try to terrify you with your deepest fears. This is a good maze, but we liked them all this year, so something had to be in last place. Number 5 is Trick or Treat. This takes place in Hemlock House, a halfway house for reformed witches, who aren't as reformed as you might hope they were. The set pieces in this house are amazing. Number 4 is Blood on the Bayou. This voodoo maze, set in the French Quarter, is one of the bloodiest of the mazes. Number 3 is Cornstalkers. This haunted corn maze at a cursed farm is probably the most claustrophobic of the mazes, as the tight twists and turns of the cornfields don't give you much space to prepare for what's ahead. Number 2 is the Grim Woods. This is based on the fairy tales of your childhood, though they don't end as happily as you may remember. This is the most improved maze, as they keep adding to it and improving it over the years. And number 1, our favorite this year, is MonsterCon. This takes place at a horror convention celebrating monster movie magic, but the monsters end up being a little too real. This was a brand new maze last year, and they added some new elements that make it even better. There were no new mazes this year, but they did add improvements to several of them, and the mazes were more fun as a result. Surprisingly, we actually liked the mazes at King's Dominion more than the haunted houses at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which is about an hour up the road from King's Dominion. These King's Dominion mazes were just really good this year. What is new in 2025 is that in addition to the park ticket, which costs between $40 and $55 depending on what day you visit, you also have to buy an additional $10 Haunted Attractions Pass. Without that Haunted Attractions Pass, you can still remain in the park during Halloween Haunt, but you cannot enter the haunted mazes without the wristband that you get when you buy the extra $10 pass. This upset some season pass holders because when they bought season passes earlier in the year, it was advertised that your pass would also get you into Haunt as well as Winterfest, their annual Christmas event. But now everyone who bought the season passes still have to pay the extra $10 if they want to actually go in the mazes. This fun Halloween event takes place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings now through November 2nd. Click the links at the end of this video for more spooky videos, and be sure to click subscribe and the notification bell so we can see you the next time we're traveling through.